right, what is the slope of this line on the coordinate plane? So again, we have two options here. You can either do it by counting from, notice they have points marked here, from one point to the next. We'll do it that way first. And the other option is to use the equation, or sorry, the formula for slope, which is subtracting the x over the y. Now remember, slope is the rise over the run. So how far up or down you have to go from one point to the other, over how far you have to go over. So when you're doing slope and you're using the counting method, notice they had these 2 points marked for me on the graph. I want to know how far up and over I have to go to get from one point to the other, and I have to stay on my grid lines. I can't go diagonally. So I start at the point furthest to the left. So notice here's my 2 points I'm working with. This one is furthest to the left. I want to end up at this point. You do your up or down first, okay, because it's rise first, rise. So I would have to go up 1, count the blanks and not the marks, 2, 3, and now notice I'm even with that point. So the rise was 3. I had to go up 3, so my rise is a positive 3. How far do I have to go over to get to that point? I have to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so my rise was 3, my run was 5, both positive, and notice this line is going up to the right, so I know it is positive slope. I probably have the correct answer there. The other option is to use the formula for slope. So you write down what the 2 points are. This is the point 0, 2. This is the point, let's see, it's over 5 and up 5. So we're going from the point 0, 2 to the point 5, 5. We subtract the y's on top. So the y from this point was 5 minus the y value from my first point, 2, all over the x from my first point, 5, minus the x from my first point, 0. 5 minus 2 is 3, and 5 minus 0 is 5. Notice we get the same answer either way. These are two options for finding the slope of a line. Okay, here's another example. What is the slope of the line on the coordinate plane? Now before you start, what kind of slope do you think you'll get? Positive, negative, 0, undefined? Remember, positive goes up to the right. So notice this as we travel to the right, what's happening? Is the line going down to the right or up? And it's going down. So we should expect negative slope from this answer. Okay, so let's take a look. Our two options again are to either count. Here's one point they had marked, and here's another point on the line they had marked. Start with the one furthest to the left. So notice this one is to the left of this point. So we're going to start here. Now notice to get to our next point, we have to go down, thus the negative slope. We have to go down how many? 1, 2, 3. So we call that negative 3, because just like when we're graphing a point, going down makes negative. Okay, so our rise over run for our slope, the rise is negative 3 because it's actually falling. Our run, how far to the right do we have to go to get even with that point now? We have to go 1. So our slope is negative 3 over 1, or just negative 3. Now our other option, again, the second option is to use the formula for slope. Subtract the y's on top and the x's on the bottom. For that, you do need to know what the points are. This point is 1 to the left and up 1 from 0, 0, so it's negative 1, 1. This point is 2 to the left and up 4, so negative 2, 4. So we subtract the y's. So this point had a y of 4 minus the y from our other point, which was 1, over the x's subtracted. This x was negative 2 minus our other x, negative 1. Simplify that. Well, 4 minus 1 is 3. On the bottom, minus a negative right here changes to plus. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. And notice we have exactly the same slope. Two options give you exactly the same answer. Find the slope of PQ. So before you start either option, first thing you want to do is look at the line. Am I going to expect positive slope, negative slope, slope of 0, or undefined? So is this slope going downward as we go to the right, upward? Is it completely flat, or is it straight up and down? Notice this line is completely flat. It has 0 slope. So without even doing any work, I know I have a slope of 0. That's my answer, because this is a horizontal line. If you were to use the formula, you would take your 2 points. This is at the point -1, 3, and this is the point 3, 3. If we used our formula for slope, which is y minus y over x minus x, notice we would get our y subtracted would be 3 minus 3 over 3, our x is subtracted, minus -1. On the top, 3 minus 3 is 0. On the bottom, 3 minus a -1 gives us 4. Now notice my zeros in top. If you have a 0 on top of your fraction, that's okay. Your answer is just a 0. If your zero's on the bottom, then it's undefined. So there are 2 ways we could find this answer. We could use the formula for slope to get a slope of 0, or we could just look at the line and say that has no slope at all. It's not slanted up or down, it's straight across.